Okay, so the materials that you're going to need for this particular foldable will be the two handouts. This is the one we will glue inside. This is the one we will glue outside. And then you're also going to need a colored sheet of paper along with a pair of scissors and glue. Now, I always prefer neon paper to pastel paper or white paper. I think the students like it more. However, it is up to you and it is up to your budget. So do what you can with what you've got. And so the first thing that we are going to do with this foldable is we are going to, I always start by folding it in half and making what we call a hamburger fold, or we are folding it horizontally. I don't know, it just depends. But anyway, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna be a half sheet. And so then you're gonna open it up and you're gonna fold it the other way. So you'll make it into a hot dog fold. The reason I use that language, even in the 8th grade, is because the kids know what I'm talking about. And I understand there's some people who believe that, you know, we need to say vertical and horizontal, et cetera, et cetera. But in the grand scheme of things, we're just trying to make a device to take notes in. That's it. So I don't usually worry too much about that. All right, so then what you're gonna do, so you have these guide marks here. You are going to fold this part over and fold that. And then you will fold this part over. Okay, so now all you have to do is cut down the center here. So you're going to cut this fold, and then you will also cut this fold. And so voila, you have your basic, just kind of like a window type fold. So now we can start by gluing the things inside the foldable. So you will need to cut all of these pieces out. Now, the one piece that we will leave is we're going to leave lithium out. This the atomic symbol for lithium, because we want to glue that on the outside. And so just for purposes, I'm not going to be too precise. Usually I'm more precise when I do this because I am doing it as an example for myself to show my students. But usually kids aren't that precise either. So this particular one will show you the vocabulary that is relevant. So we will glue this one right here. And so I don't prefer glue sticks. I actually prefer classroom glue, but I'm just going to use a glue stick because I think it'll be faster for what we're doing here. So, oops. So we will glue that here. And then we will cut out these two. We want to cut out Niels Bohr because the Bohr model is pretty darn important. Now you could do anything you wanted. You could, instead of doing Niels Bohr, you could go into the electron cloud model, which is the current model that we're using today in atomic structure. But as of right now, Niels Bohr is still kind of the big guy. But you could do a different series of scientists. So I'm just going to glue him on here. And I like to glue him down in this corner. So let me turn this upright so you guys can see this. So right now this is what it looks like. So if we had it closed, we would have this. So we've got that. And then we also have important facts. And that can be a variety of things. Whatever you want. You could do a timeline. You could do Ape Man. It's a nice little acronym for the kids to remember atomic structure. because for whatever reason, 8th graders have a hard time. Some of them do, not all of them, but some do have a hard time remembering the different charges and where the different particles are found. Okay, so we've got that glued down in here. So now, like I said, I'm not going to be too precise here, but I am going to cut this. Now, I want to say something about the 3rd electron level. Depending on the periodic table you're looking at, and depending on the period you go into, some models or some atoms can hold 18 in their shell. We had an issue with that when we were playing the atomic structure game from CPI. And in the state of Texas, we don't really get into the transition metals. And so it's best for us to just go with 8. However, there is a Word document that you can edit if you want to put 18 here, or if you want to write an 18, that is absolutely fine. But for this, just for the sake of this, to keep it simple, we're going 2 in the 1st level, 8 in the 2nd electron level, and 8 in the 3rd electron level. So that's just kind of that. Now, obviously, let me make sure I glue this right side up. Obviously, you have space for more notes. Like I said, you could add a timeline. You could do Lewis structures here. Whatever you wanted to do, whatever you wanted to add. But this is just a good starter, just kind of a basic piece, because really and truly, we just want to know the structure and the function of each subatomic particle. So now that we've got that glued in here, we have this piece. And so now we have the rest of this that we can do as we please. If we want to write an 8-man here, timeline, whatever, it's up to you. So let's go ahead and fold this. We're going to close that. So we've got just that. We've got those pieces. We're going to go ahead and close this off. And the next thing, now obviously this is going to be a little more time consuming to cut out, but we want to glue, and we're going to be doing a lot of gluing. Now, it is up to you. As a teacher, if you feel like your students would benefit from the kinesthetic piece of cutting these pieces out and gluing them in the correct location, that's great. If you would rather just have them put in the correct location, you could do that, or you could do all of this black and white and have them color in and label. It's all up to you, but I have prepared it this way just for the sake of what we're doing here. So we've got our electrons, which are smaller. I would like for them to be a little bit more small than that. However, they need to be big enough to cut out in a timely fashion. And then we've got the labels. And it's very, very important that we label the valence electrons, because we want the students to know that valence electrons are the electrons located in the outermost shell. So, cutting, cutting, cutting. Okay, so now here we have this center for the atom model, and it's not quite completely circular, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be for this. So I'm just gonna kind of lay some glue. Oops, I know y'all can't see that. Let me move this up so you can. I'm just gonna lay glue all around this as much as I can. And we are going to glue this puppy right here. Now, obviously, we've glued down, so we're gonna have to cut. We're gonna have to make some cuts. That's okay. Let's glue all of our pieces down first, and then we will go back and cut it so that it will be open. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these out very quickly. Now, if you will note, you will see that I did not label the neutrons with anything because they have no charge. So they're kind of there, but you can see that I have a plus sign for the proton and a negative sign, which you may not be able to see in the electron ones. Now with lithium, I think lithium is a good place because they can see that there aren't necessarily the same number of protons as there are neutrons. It's all about atomic mass, and so that will help them remember that they have to subtract the atomic number, which is the number of protons, from the atomic mass to get the number of neutrons. Now, if you want to go into ions, isotopes, I think carbon would be a better model to use. And so it all depends on what your curriculum has in mind, but carbon would be an excellent model to use for isotopes. Okay, so now you can see I've cut out all of these pieces, and the last thing really to do is just simply to glue them on. So I glue lithium. Let me make sure we're in the right spot. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to glue lithium at the bottom because I want them to have the atomic symbol for lithium. And then I'm going to glue the protons and the neutrons into the nucleus. If they overlap a little bit, that is just fine. Okay, so now I'm about to have my nucleus done. And the one thing that I did not put, it's actually on the printable that you can find. It's completely free at teachingdiva.com. You can go into the resources page and you will be able to find this. And I have added nucleus because we do want to label the nucleus. I just thought about it after the fact. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick that one there. And so now we've got our center. Our nucleus is complete. And I'm going to go ahead and do the electrons real quick. And do one here. Make sure that negative sign is upright. Do one here. And then it's all dependent on what you want to do, because if we do go with this idea of the electron cloud, we could glue it here, or we could glue it here. And just for the sake of what we're doing, so that we can glue that valence electron label, I'm going to go ahead and glue it out here so that they can see that there are 3 electrons, which matches the number of protons in a neutral, or in a neutral atom. So now what I want to do is glue the electron label on, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this one here, kind of up close. Okay, so there's that electron. I want to glue the valence electron out so that they know that it is the outermost. So there's the valence electron. Then we're going to find a place to put our proton label here. And let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and put, let's see, I'll put the proton here. And then I can put the neutron kind of in between these 2 blue ones, kind of like this. So I'm going to make sure I don't get it on the fold mark. So let me put the neutrons here. All right, so now all that is left to do is I'm going to cap my glue because I don't want it to dry out. All that is left to do is simply make the cuts down the center of this so that it opens. And I'm going to kind of pop this a little bit. So, yeah. And voila. And of course we're cutting right down the center of our electron. That is okay. And then now we will have a guide here that we can just cut back down the center. And so there you have it. Here is your electron model foldable that you can utilize in any which way you would like. You will have, you know, a model on the front, and then when it opens up, you'll have more detailed information. You have spots to add notes, and you can utilize the back. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and found that useful. Remember, you can find the handouts at teachingdiva.com. I will see you guys next time.